Well, I suppose I'm alive. I originally wasn't going to make a video like this, but since it's a little past the 10th anniversary of Death Battle, I thought it'd be appropriate to make this video in order to commemorate the occasion. It's sort of crazy to think this stupid little web show has been around almost 10 years, and the fact I've been watching for about 7 of them since I was a stupid elementary schooler makes me feel really old. Being honest, seeing all these characters brutally murder each other probably wasn't good for my young self, but I didn't really care. For these 7 years, I've just been sort of enamored by the entire concept of the show itself. And all this time, my interest has always been here, even if it did fall off a little during Season 6. But it's no secret that this show has been a big part of my life since then. I've met many great and amazing people through this community, and hell, I even had my own Versus show for a little bit. But that's enough with the past backstory stuff. This is a list of my top 10 favorite death battles. Let it be known that this list was incredibly difficult to make. There's a small amount of episodes I dislike, and even fewer I truly hate, but the amount I like is really huge. I always knew what my 10 favorites were, but ordering them was just the issue. Even as I'm typing out the script and currently reading it, I'm not super sure about it, but I'll do the best I can to order it. I will just say that just because an episode's victor is wrong, it doesn't make it a bad episode. I guess the only real rule here is nothing from Season 7, as that has yet to conclude as I'm writing this. But honestly, the only real contender for this list is Talbane vs Saberwolf with very little competition. But with all that out of the way, let's get on to the list.
It's a Deathstroke kebab! What a rip! Seriously, what makes this chump worth $10 more than me? Come on! I'm me! What? Am I right? Yeah, I am. I'm pretty sure. Ha!
It's your lucky day. I can show you.
Oh boy, a show? Can I get popcorn first? I hope they have salt and pepper shakers. I love it to be tasty. Bye.
While the rest of this list was very difficult to order, this one sort of fell into place fairly easily. But that doesn't mean it's bad. After all, it's my 10th favorite of the show with over 100 episodes, so that's definitely not bad. Deadpool vs Deathstroke has been a fight I've really liked for about 4 years now. I'll never object to giving it a rewatch from time to time. While I don't really have experience with either character, the way the fight went was entertaining throughout all 6 minutes of it. I loved the banter between Deadpool and the host slash Deathstroke. It was definitely the highlight of the episode for me, and the choreography throughout was excellent. Some standout moments were the bullet fight at the start, and the entire sequence on the bridge was just wonderful. Deathstroke's sigh after Deadpool starts dancing also amuses me, and I don't know why it does. The voice acting for Deadpool was also really good, and while the animation at points looks a bit dated and janky, it's still an absolute blast to watch the fight play out. The death is also super memorable to me, and Deadpool singing at the end has always stuck with me. I don't really have much else to say. Originally I was going to have All Might vs Might Guy here, but I swapped it out last second for this one, as I have fonder memories of it. That's really all I have to say about this one. Moving on.
All the children in the audience, cover your eyes. And the moral of the story is... Deadpool wins! Yay! This is totally racist. Hey, chimichanga!
Sephiroth.
You are powerful. I can see it.
Who are you?
Your despair.
Listen, I love Devil May Cry, but honestly, this fight is pretty average. The choreography is really good, but aside from that, there's not really much else I can say. Sephiroth's voice acting is pretty good, I guess, and Virgil's, while not sounding entirely accurate, is still a pretty solid performance. The kill is also really good, even if Sephiroth winning is apparently wrong. But if I just think this episode is just pretty good, then why is it number 9 on my top 10? 3 words. One winged devil. This song, man, I just love it so much. Honestly, it's one of my favorite pieces of music ever composed, and I'm not exaggerating on that. It hard carries this episode from a 7 out of 10 to about a 9.5 or something like that. If this was a ranking of purely the music, this absolutely would be much higher, but as it stands, this is the highest I can really put Virgil vs. Sephiroth. Pretty good episode with an absolutely phenomenal battle track, and overall, an alright way to close off Season 4.
Witness oblivion. I'm free. So you are.
Okay, Spiky Beard! Hulk smash ugly cycles!
We've all heard it before. Season 3 was pretty stinky, but it did have some absolute winners, which are some of the best episodes of the entire show, this being one of them. I'm not super attached to either character, but man, this fight was really something else. There's so many cool moments, like all the buildings collapsing, Hulk's car gauntlets, while not exactly practical, was a really cool scene, and of course the death was just awesome. The climax was excellent, and really gets your blood boiling and has you on the edge of your seat. The music synced up to the battle nicely too, and the voice acting for both characters was fairly solid. Not much else to say other than that. It was a huge breath of fresh air in a season that's often regarded as the worst the show has to offer.
Bitch! But if you're looking for the left eye, that would either make you an angel or a demon.
Two Season 3 episodes back to back. Epic. Anyways, this is the other standout Season 3 fight to me, and was the episode that really hooked me onto the show, waiting for the weeks to pass by as the new episodes dropped. It's unfortunate that Season 3 was where I really got into it, but can you really blame me with a premiere as fantastic as Dante vs. Bayonetta? Everything about the fight is just so dang cool. Again, I love Devil May Cry, so a Dante W really makes me happy. But other than that, the hand-to-hand combat was amazing, and both characters got to use such a wide variety of weapons. They were both in character from what I could tell, and it's always a blast seeing Dante be his cocky self, and his banter with Bayonetta was really entertaining. The music synced up to the fight perfectly, and provided some high energy to this already intense fight. Both characters' partners showing up really added to the experience overall. A shame they got an awful fight as the DBX premiere, but that doesn't really matter here. The entire fight culminates with both characters activating their powered up states, and Dante blocking each and every one of Madama Butterfly's punches is so cool. Bayonetta getting stabbed repeatedly and then exploding is also one of the most memorable deaths of the entire show. The outcome is debatable, but honestly, I could care less about it. Bayonetta's voice acting was also pretty amazing. It's a shame the rest of the season can't come anywhere close to this or the previous entry though.
No, that's not possible. Not possible.
Bullseye. How come I never meet any nice girls? Oh, shit.
Sweet! Just what I was looking for.
What are you doing? No one's supposed to be here.
Never stopped me before, pal.
I can't really say I care too much about either character. Hell, I even own Resident Evil 4, yet I haven't even touched it once. So I don't really have a connection to either of these characters. Yeah, I definitely haven't said that yet. So it's all the more impressive I ended up loving this episode as much as I do. This fight is an absolutely perfect blend with 3D backgrounds and 2D sprites. The music really helps to set the atmosphere of the fight, along with the color correction. I just love it when battles look like this, but the only other example I can think of is Natsu vs. Ace with its really orangey tint. But that episode does not even compare to this one. All the action here is really good, and the voices fit both characters from my limited knowledge. Moments like them fighting off the zombies or Frank's mech really stand out to me. He even turned into Mega Man X, so that gets this episode bonus points by default. This battle just feels perfectly paced to me. And oh my god, I love Resident Rising so damn much. It's about on the same level as One Winged Devil for me. Especially that end guitar solo, just wow. I get chills every time I hear it, but unlike One Winged Devil, the song perfectly suits and complements the fight rather than hard carries it. But either way, Leon vs. Frank is just one of the many winners Season 5 gave us.
It was Ice fighting with you, buddy.
Game over.
I'm of course talking about Samurai Jack.
Your sword smells of blood.
So does yours.
What can I really say about this episode that hasn't been said many times before? The hand-drawn animation here is still my favorite of the entire show. Luis is an absolute madman, animating this by himself in the span of 4 weeks. God, man, I wish. The swordplay was really satisfying to watch, and the comedic bits really blend in well. The music, while not one of my favorite tracks, really complements this fight. The death is also really cool, man. Jack walking off with the headbands is a really cool moment, even if it's hard to notice. Not much else to say, this is just really, really good. If you've been following this channel when I still uploaded videos, you'd know I absolutely loved Killer Instinct to bits. And when Sub-Zero vs. Glacius was announced, I was beyond excited, as it was one of my most wanted matchups at the time. Little did I know, it would be one of the biggest disappointments of the entire show. So, imagine me minding my own business and watching Lucario vs. Renamon, and suddenly this episode is announced. I was beyond skeptical at first, but little did I know I was worried for nothing, as Balrog vs. TJ combo is an absolutely phenomenal fight. The setting is perfect, the music perfect, and the choreography, oh man, it's so good. You can feel the impact of every single hit, and the boxing setting of this fight gives it a really unique feel to almost every other episode. And apparently Torian studied real-life boxing to try to make sure this felt as authentic as possible, so you gotta respect that. And also Notwiz is here, so what's not to love about this episode? I guess Balrog's cloak clipping can be a bit distracting, but I don't care. Easily the best Season 4 has to offer.
Holy
takes the title in absolutely brutal fashion. Excuse me, I've got to hurl. Love and peace or lies, God is dead, and we're all totally...
If you're a close friend of mine, then you'd know that I absolutely adore Mega Man. So imagine my excitement seeing this episode announced, and it was everything I was hoping for. It's like this episode was tailored specifically for me. The animation is absolutely fantastic and shows off the powers of each Mega Man very well. Except for X, which sorta makes me sad, as he's my favorite of them, yet he only really used the Z-Saber and did the Fire Wave that one time. But the Buster to Buster combat was so good that I can look past it. Switching between the different battles happening simultaneously is really cool, and the episode sorta making fun of Volnut is pretty funny. Boomstick's rant about Legends will never get old to me, and Mega Mania is such a fantastic track that complements the fight so well. Everything here just comes together to make the perfect battle royale between these Mega Men, and plus, there's a funny JoJo meme, so all is well.
Something out, Sayla. It's more than meets the eye.
Get your butt back to White Base. If there's trouble, we can't send backup.
Let's roll.
God, how can I even describe this fight? Firstly, the excitement I felt seeing this fight revealed at the end of Carnage vs. Lucy is still to this day the most excited I've ever felt for a death battle. The 3-week wait was absolutely agonizing for me, but man, was it worth it. I have almost nothing to complain about here. The action is great. You cannot tell me that the moments like the Gundam being drop-kicked or having the tire spin in its face as a reference to Transformers Prime weren't cool. This particular shot here that references the original movie makes me really happy. And Wings of Iron, Jesus man, it's just phenomenal. Perfectly captures the 80s feel of both characters. Seeing Prime take the W also filled me with so much joy, as Transformers was something I grew up on and had a large influence on my childhood. I was waiting for so long for another Transformers character in Death Battle, and this episode filled that void perfectly. My only complaints are Optimus being a little out of character and his voice not sounding right at all. But honestly, him being here makes up for it. This episode was so close to number 1. And as I'm typing this out, I'm still not 100% sure. But having 2 episodes of number 1 would be such a cop-out. So, for the sake of this list, I was forced to make this decision.
Stop that! I'm just bad.
I must stand, so you shall fall.
But before we get to number 1, I want to give a few honorable mentions that didn't really make the list. Naruto vs. Ichigo. This was around number 9 for a while, but it got bumped down over time. Still really good. Jotaro vs. Kenshiro. This fight isn't amazing or anything, but it did give me the push to start watching JoJo's, and I've never turned back since. Whether that's good or bad, I'll let you decide. Weiss vs. Mitsuru. It's not anything amazing, but I like Persona, and I don't like Ruby at all, so the result did make me a bit happy. Metal Sonic vs. Zero. I didn't like this episode at first, but I've really warmed up to it over time. It would probably rank at number 11. Snake vs. Sam. I feel like this is a little overrated, but it's still a pretty good episode. And finally, Talbane vs. Saberwolf. It would have made the list, but no Season 7 battles allowed. But without any further delay, my number 1 favorite death battle of all time is...
Hello, everyone. I'll accept your unconditional surrender now.
At the risk of sounding cliché, you and what army?
Picking between this or Prime vs. Gundam was so difficult, you have no idea. But I picked this at the very last second. I don't like the battle track as much, but it's still phenomenal work from Yates. This entire fight is just perfect to me. The sprite quality is top notch, the action is perfect, and the banter is great. Ultron using the B to hit Sigma, telling him to buzz off was really good. And of course, the giant robot fight is just awesome. I barely picked this over Prime vs. Gundam due to me liking sprites more than 3D generally and having the better voice acting. And I really mean barely. Both these episodes are so good, but for now I have no issue saying Ultron vs. Sigma is my favorite death battle of all time. But on a more personal note, during the airing of Season 5, I was going through a really rough spot mentally. I won't go into detail, but it was really, really awful. And that year of school I still consider the worst of my life so far. But Death Battle Season 5, along with other things, really was there to help me through it. Yeah, it sounds corny, whatever, but this show really does mean a lot to me. And the sentimental value I have towards Season 5 is something that can't be understated. It helps give me something to look forward to every few weeks, and really that's all I could ask for. And it so happens that Ultron vs. Sigma showed up at a perfect time in my life. But that's enough with the corny stuff. And there you have it, my top 10 favorite death battles. This list will likely change over time, but for now I'm pretty happy with it. Do you agree or do you disagree? Please, feel free to leave your own list in the comments. Just be nice to others, please. I absolutely will not tolerate any bigotry or anything like that in my comment section. Happy 10th birthday, Death Battle. A show that means so much to me and many others. I thank you for sticking around to watch this video, and I promise I'll try to have Ness vs. Silver out before the year's end. I just need a bit more time. But that's enough from me. I hope you have a good day, or night, whatever time it is for you. Bye.